Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play Blades of Avernum. Last episode I gave up on a scenario that was just not fun at all. It was suffering from the situation of throw every monster at you and make them incredibly powerful. Way too powerful for the party it's recommended you play it as, unless you are a specific build. So I just gave up on it. It was not going to be fun at all. When you can't even kill a creature in the first round, and they kill one of your party in the first round and everyone in the second round, it is not a scenario you want to deal with. Especially when there is zero chance to prepare, and no, I was not going to deal with that. So, that was actually the only one of only two scenarios that particular author created, the other one being completely broken. So, we're moving on to another creator. This one happening to go by the name of Nikki. First scenario we're doing by her would be... No, I didn't mean... It's not this one. Reloading. Okay, I clicked the wrong button. That's not the scenario we're doing. We're not doing Diplomacy with the Dead with a level 1 guy. No, we're doing A Good Beginning. A remote island, a magical portal, a murder, and you. You have been contacted by Imperial High Command to take part in a special assignment. Apparently, the Empire has run into a minor difficulty on a remote island and needs you to sort it out. Before you leave, you are told a little about the nature of your destination. The Empire has colonized a small remote island and has set up 2 forts there. You are then told that a mage at one of the forts has been murdered. It is your job to go to the island, uncover the murderer, and bring them to justice. After a few days journeying across land, you take a boat to Bluebird Island, the location of the murder. The island itself contains a high concentration of magical crystals and was previously inhabited by a small tribe of savages. The tribe had been completely extinct for centuries before the Empire settled the area, and now the only life present are the soldiers and magicians of the Imperial Army. As dawn rises, you land on the docks of Fort Orchard, a small Empire fort on the northern tip of the island. You should speak with the commanding officer here and get the exact details of your mission. Okay. I already have higher hopes for this than I did the previous scenario. It's a clear and warm morning, despite the air being slightly sticky. You have your first proper look around Fort Orchard. It is a modest place, yet somehow appealing because of that. It feels homey and welcoming, a rare thing for an Empire fort. Looking around, you see that the ground is dotted with various mushrooms and plants. They must flourish in the humid environment. There doesn't seem to be many people around. Perhaps the fort hasn't yet received its full complement of men yet. You look around for the commander to get your mission. He'll probably be in the barracks. All new arrivals must see Commander Hawley before leaving. Same thing there. I was about to say that's a tiny building. Then I opened it. It's not a tiny building. That's the bloody outhouse! I admit, I like when I see something like the outhouse. You don't really see that kind of thing anywhere. Only in Avernum do you find the bathrooms. I mean, sure you find them in other ones, but only in Avernum do you find them like that in fantasy games. This young lady is sat reading beneath a towering birch. As you approach, your shadow falls over her, and she looks up with a frown and lays the book down on the grass beside her. "Yes, can I help you?" she asks sniffily, her eyebrows arching. "So what's your name?" "Sandra. I have ranks and numbers and other such military nonsense, but since I'm off duty, I won't spew them out. Now, can I actually help you?" "What are you reading?" "You mean, what am I trying to read, but keep getting interrupted and disturbed and bothered by idiots but ruining my precious few hours off? It's a book. A good one. Take a hint and leave me alone, huh?" For a moment you can swear that Sandra half smiles, but then it's gone, only to be replaced by a scornful frown. "Know anything about the murder at Fort Bluebird?" Sandra sighs. "Yes, everyone knows about how Sean was killed. Stabbed in the back. As for who or why, well, I have no idea. Nobody does. You think you were brought here for a holiday? Sorry to disturb you. Sandra perks up a little. Thank the gods! Now I can get back to my book. Don't bother me again. I don't know anything, alright? Alright. We'll leave you alone. Continuing to look through here because it's what I do. No, I'm not jumping off. You return to the docks of Fort Orchard. There's a small boat here ready to take you back to the mainland if that is what you desire. However, you haven't completed your mission and the murderer is still at large. If you go back now, you'll not get paid for any of the work you've done so far. Still, the choice is yours. Do you wish to leave the island in the scenario? No, I'm staying. Let's see. Rosaline Alchemy. Don't touch the flowers. I'm walking all over the flowers, walking all over the flowers. This bent and wizened old lady is pottering about this small wooden building wearily, collecting samples of herbs and checking references in books from the shelves. When you enter, she turns and peers at you, then carries on with her work. Finally, after placing several sprigs of something and a dash of something else into the cauldron in the center of the room, she speaks to you. Welcome. I'm Rosie, the Fort Orchard's sage, and potion maker for Bluebird Island. And that's it, I think. What can I do for you? So what exactly is it you do? Well, I know a lot about strange items, more than that dolt Grant next door. I can identify any items you have for 8 gold pieces. I also know a few potion recipes that I can share with you. What would you like? Could you identify these items? Okay. Rosalie looks over your equipment with a skilled eye, yada yada yada. We'd like to learn some recipes, please. Healing, curing, hasting energy. Are any of your potions for sale? Rosaline shakes her head. No, I'm sorry, but all of my potions are for the troop station here. I can't give any of them, even in exchange for money. Sorry. Know who the murderer at Fort Bluebird might be? Rosaline shakes her head. I don't know, no. It might be anybody acting for personal or political reasons. I don't really know. Sorry. You don't like Grant? Rosaline turns her nose up. No, he acts all haughty and superior, without any of the skill or experience to black up his flames. I don't like it at all. Okay then. The small dog comes leaping over to you and proceeds to jump at you, sniffing your armor and weapons. You eventually manage to fend him off and he playfully skips away. I saw a cat here too. This little cat is bounding around playfully, chasing butterflies and leaping through the grass. You try to engage it in a conversation about the weather, about good books you've read, and about the current political climate. However, it is a cat, and so can't talk. It pays no attention to you, so you leave it to its play. Quartermaster and outfitting. You enter a large, dusty room, filled with lockers and tables heaving with miscellany. This must be the supply depot for goods entering the island, and where the troops are outfitted. You look around and spot a shrewish-looking man sat at a desk, scribbling away. That must be the quartermaster. This man is bent over the table, scribbling busily on sheets of parchment. Then, once he finishes, he puts his pen down with an air of authority, folds his hands neatly, and looks you over. Ah, the detectives. He says detectives as if it were synonymous with picnic. I'm Grant. I oversee and organize the supplies here at the port. I'm a busy man, I'm sure you understand, so whatever you want, can we make it quick, please? What is it that you do here? Well, I am the quartermaster here at Fort Orchard. I am solely responsible for making sure that the soldiers stationed here are properly equipped for whatever their duties may throw at them. He grins at you smugly. And I do a very good job of it, too. I also provide mundane items for the upkeep of the fort and may have something to interest you. Ask if you need something. I'm sure I can provide anything you desire. Well, actually, grab the lockpicks, so we actually have them. How do you like your job? Well, it's something I excel at. It's easy, there's no danger of getting hurt, and I get along with most people here. All in all, working on Bluebird Island is a very easy life. Before the murder, of course, but we won't dwell on that. Do you know anything about the murder at Fort Bluebird? Naturally, I knew Sean moderately well, and even if I hadn't, the murder was big news. I can't say I'm not upset. One has other things to do than mourn ceaselessly. Now to business. Also, this guy out here. This man is wandering around the fort aimlessly. He's far older than most of the other people stationed here. I wonder why the Empire keep him around. When you get close to him, he begins speaking to you.
Ah, more young'uns. I'm Cross, pleased to meet ya. How can I help?
What do you do around here? Cross looks around before answering.
I'm looking for my cat. Actually, I help Holly out from time to time. I used to be a fine tactician, and if this fort is ever gonna get bigger, we'll need someone like me to be around.
Know anything about the murder?
Not my business to know. I know that Holly wants you to go down to Fort Bluebird and look around. If you haven't seen it yet, you should go to the barracks and talk to her.
No worries, we shall. The smithy! As you enter this large smithy, you are taken aback by the amazing amount of heat in here. Despite the door being thrown wide open and several paneless windows set into the walls, the temperature is formidable. Through the hazy air, you see two blacksmiths working hard at huge anvils. From this angle, they both look identical. Must be a trick of the light. The heat and noise in this forge are almost unbearable. You think that you are actually boiling inside your armor. Your head spins with the heat. This person, though, seems to be having an easy time of it in these awful conditions. He or she is also so covered in soot you can't make out what species he or she is. You approach and introduce himself. Slowly, it turns and speaks to you.
Ah, hey there. What can I do for you? I'm Bill, by the way.
How can you survive in here?
Oh, quite simple, really. I got used to it. Had to, if I wanted to be a smith. Which I did. The only thing I was ever good at. You'll get used to it after a couple of hours in here, I'm sure.
As much as more time in the sweltering heat appeals to you, you'd think you'd prefer to muck out a dragon or dinner with a gremlin. Bill chuckles when you tell him as much. It is quite a place you have here. He grins, looks around with pride, and then ruins the moment by wiping his forehead with a huge arm.
Sure is. Me and Bill there do a bang-up job running the forge. Only place on Bluebird Isle to get metalworks.
Bill? Aren't you called Bill?
We're both named Bill. I'm Bill and he is Bill as well. Gets damn confusing sometimes.
Bill is still completely at ease in his furnace, and he is still completely filthy. I wonder if he's married or not.
Welcome back. Need more finely crafted pieces of high-quality forged iron?
So what do you do here?
Well, I make weapons, mostly for the troops here. Do other things too. Repairs, that kind of thing. You can buy some if you like. Weapons, I mean. Oh, and Bill over there sells armor if you need some of that. We got all your needs covered.
Yeah, we can get weapons, but we don't need any right now. Know anything about the murder? Bill shakes his head and shrugs his shoulders.
No. Well, yes, I know that I didn't do it. Sorry, I don't leave this fort for anything other than sleeping and eating. I have no idea who it might be.
I'm pretty sure this is the same guy. Do you find it too hot in here?
Oh no, it's perfect.
He places extra emphasis on the word perfect.
Nice and toasty. In fact, I'd say this kind of heat is my favorite of all temperatures. I never feel quite right unless I'm covered in soot and sweat.
Quite a place you've got here.
Sure is, huh? Me and Bill have a great forge there. She's beautiful. If I didn't have to use a bathroom or sleep, I don't think I'd ever leave this place.
So what do you do here?
I make armor, mostly. I repair things, too, and shoe the horses that are around. Do other things, too. You can buy some armor if you like. When Bill over there sells weapons if you need some of those. We got all your needs covered.
Okay, then. Know anything about the murder? Bill shakes his head and scratches his thin chin thoughtfully, making it even more thick.
No, sorry. I don't hear much from the outside world, and if I did, I wouldn't remember it. I have no idea who it might be. Bill might, though. You should ask him.
He already did, and he only knows that it wasn't him. Alright. Well, that's the barracks. You know what? We'll go in there last. Luke, the Fletcher. First thing that hits you about this large wooden building as you enter is the obscene amount of projectiles laying around. This must be Fort Orchard's Fletchery. The second thing that strikes you is the amount of wood shavings around the place. You can already feel your nose tickling. This lean-faced, middle-aged man is hunched over a thin smooth piece of ash. He's in the process of attaching a bowstring to it. Wood shavings litter the floor around his chair and are built up like flurries of snow around his feet. As you approach, he lifts his head slightly and, without lifting his gaze from the wood in his hand, says, "Oh, greetings! I'm Luke Fletcher. What can I do for you?"
We'd like to trade, please. We could, but not actually going to. What's your job?
Luke tilts his head slightly and looks at you blankly. Then he lifts the bow he is holding and waves around the room using his other hand. After a moment, he decides he should make it completely clear.
I produce and repair archery equipment for the soldiers stationed here and for the soldiers who are yet to arrive.
Is there much call for arrows and such?
Luke shrugs. I don't know. I get told to make them, so I do. It's not my job to question the orders of others. If it knows what that could do to my career. And my life.
What makes you think you'll be killed? Luke looks up at you as if deciding whether or not he can trust you. Eventually, he begins speaking.
Murder. I think that it might have been someone acting on behalf of the Empire. Sean was always saying something about the tyranny of the Empire. He had a relative thrown into Avernum once. Look, I'm all for the Empire. I wouldn't be in the army if I wasn't. But sometimes accidents can happen. Now you want something?
There are more soldiers to arrive?
Oh yes, we aren't nearly at full capacity yet. Fort Orchard is only a new fort, staffed with the bare minimum to keep the place running. Soon the Empire will dispatch great numbers of men here, when it deigns its time to do so.
Know anything about the murder in Fort Blackbird?
Oh wait, Luke is busy preparing another bow when you return. The skill and speed with which his fingers move is breathtaking. Without looking up, he acknowledges your return. Hello, need more arrows?
Know anything about the murder in Fort Bluebird?
Luke shakes his head. No, I'm always up here. The majors there tend to keep to themselves, and if there's ever a problem, we draft in people like you. I feel for the guy's family, of course. It's bad business. Hope you sort it out.
You don't talk much, do you?
No, absolutely no point in letting the mouth babble on and risk it out running the mine. I'd say something I could be hanged for.
He looks at you squarely.
Or end up lying in a pool of my own blood after meeting the murderer. Now, you want something?
What makes you think you'll be killed? Luke looks up at you. Okay, that's the same thing. Okay. As you enter this small yet well-built temple, a wave of positive energy washes over you, making you instantly feel at ease, and for a few moments at least, you can forget your mission and the murderer on the loose. This young man is sat in quiet contemplation, head bowed and eyes closed. Faint lines of concentration are visible on his forehead. Despite your trying to speak to him, he shows no sign of even realizing you're there. What do? Leave him alone. You back off and respectfully leave the man to his meditation. This middle-aged man walks around with an air of grace and collectedness that is rare by anybody's standards. He is wearing the traditional garb of a priest, and a large ankh hangs from around his neck. When he spots you approaching, he quickly bows and offers his hand to you. Welcome. I am Father Mar, protector of the shrine here in Fort Orchid. Come, speak with me. What do you do around here? Well, I am in charge of this humble temple. I also offer spiritual guidance to the soldiers here, and offer the occasional healing to any wounded soldiers here. I am also allowed to teach some of the simpler spells to students. Is there anything in particular you would like? How much would it cost for healing? A mere 100 gold pieces would totally heal somebody, uncurse their items, and if they are dead, return them to life. Would you like me to heal somebody? For 100 gold? No thanks. I'm glad that none of you are in any pain. Now how else can I help you? Could you teach us some spells, please? Could. But we don't really have the coin for any of it except Enduring Barrier. No. Do you know anything of the murder at Fort Bluebird? Maher looks troubled for a moment and looks away at the altar. Then after a few seconds he turns to you again. I know little of the facts save that a young mage called Sean was murdered. I do have a feeling though that not all is as it seems. This island is strange. There is a high magic concentration here, and I feel that it is clouding my judgment. I cannot tell you who the murderer is, or why he or she committed such an act. I am sorry. Alright then. You enter the barracks. This single building is a combined sleeping and eating area for everyone stationed here. Despite this, it is kept in pristine condition. At the back of the building, you see another door. Perhaps you'll find the commander through there. This woman is drinking a bowl of soup when you approach her. Her armor is in pristine condition and her forehead is creased with care. She looks like she has been serving for a long time. As she finishes her meal, she turns to you, salutes, and introduces herself. Her voice is cold and lacks any real emotion. She also talks very quickly. Alexandra Fielding's 3rd Islander Saber Corps 054. I'm scheduled to return to my watch in a short while, so let's make this fast, shall we? What is your job here? I'm a soldier. I do the same thing as the other soldiers here. I go on watch duty. I sometimes get selected to patrol the island. I eat, I sleep, I drink, and occasionally use the toilet. Surely you don't wish to know more than that. Do you know anything about the murder? Alexandra's answer is short and to the point. No, I don't deal in rumors. Anything else? Well, thanks for your time. No problem. Goodbye. She turns away and begins clearing away at her table. This soldier is in a state of slumber. He is still partially dressed, and his bow is lying on the floor next to him. Must have come off duty and just fallen onto his bed. Rather than wake him up and ask questions of him, you leave him be. These lockers all have a combination lock on them. You could try and crack one of them, but in all fairness, you don't want to spend 3 hours trying to access somebody's dirty socks. You leave them be. Commander Hall. You enter this small office and are greeted by the fort's commanding officer, Commander Hawley. She is tall, imposing, and severely beautiful. She is also staring straight at you. So you're finally here. Good. She sits down. Right, as you know, there's been a murder. It occurred down at Fort Bluebird. A mage was found with a dagger in the back. We've drafted you in to find out who it was. We realize that you need to scout around and such first, so I just want you to go down to Fort Bluebird and look around. Come back to me after nosing about, and we'll see if there are any avenues you should explore further. Oh, and there are some caves to the west. You should go there and speak to Stephens. He may have some useful information. So you are just scouting around at the minute. Be sure to talk to the Jessica, the administrator in Fort Bluebird. She smiles slightly, an awkward and forced gesture, you think. Good luck. Okay, then. Commander Hawley is sat behind her desk making different sets of notes on several different pieces of paper, all at once. She looks at you briefly and then returns to her notes. You have your mission, and I have my job to do. If you need me to repeat anything, please ask me. Otherwise, kindly leave me be. Could you repeat our mission, please? Right, okay. Same basic thing. Hawley finishes telling you your mission and resumes your note-taking. You leave her be. How can we leave the island? Go to the docks where you arrived. The easternmost one usually has a boat there in case of emergencies. I'll allow you to use that to leave. That's okay, we remember. Hawley mutters something and resumes her note-taking. You leave her be. This bookshelf is home to Commander Hawley's personal collection of literature. You notice that a lot of it is about conflict and romance. There are copies of A Very Long Engagement, All Quiet on the Western Front, and Birdsong. There's nothing here to help you, though, and nothing that you can learn anything from. These shelves contain various notes and tables concerning the running of Fort Orchard, from wash rotas to leave requests. All of it is dull and of no use to you. Same thing there. Okay, then. Well, we've looked around at everything in here and are pretty much ready to leave. And you know what? I'm going to end this episode here. Make it a short one. Yes, I know. But it's no big deal. Next episode, we'll head out and try to make our way to Fort Orchard and look around the island a little. That'll be the next episode. So until then, I'm Chester44. That is Fox, Sheik, Bonnie, and Draco. This has been a Blades of Avernum Let's Play, and I shall see you all next time.